We are live with the Mama Tribe.
Morning! We're live with Mama Tribe. I'm OG.
And I'm MJ.
And we have with us today Miss
Cara.
I'm all chiming.
Kara's breastfeeding.
Oh, yay! A babe on the boob is the best.
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
that's the best.
Now, say your last name for us. I don't want to screw it up.
Again.
It's Cara Cadwallader. Cadwallader. Yes.
Cadwallader. Very English.
It is. It's Welsh.
Yes, yes, yes. Very cool. Well, I'm OG Mamacita. That's short for officially geriatric because I had my son at 41. He's in the background. And MJ is MJ because she's Mary Jane.
Yeah, gotta shorten it. You know, it's too long of a name.
So this is, yeah, hi, Thursday morning. Welcome.
How's your morning going over there, OG?
Yeah, so this is an improvement. Let's just start that off right now. So that'll give you an idea of how my morning has been. We've already been out and about and chaos extreme, so.
And somebody didn't make you enough coffee this morning? Is that what happened?
Again, my husband, he doesn't realize he has this capacity to just like inhale liquids without regard to quantity. Oh my gosh! And so yeah, I got FUCK'd with the coffee again this morning, and I had to make some more. So it's been crazy. How about you girls?
My morning's been all right. Nothing too crazy. I'm trying to actually think because it's been a long morning already.
Are you on a boat, MJ? What's with all the motion?
Oh, I just put my computer on my legs because I'm in the bedroom because last live I was listening to it and I'm so sorry, you guys, because the TV was in the background and it was loud. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back in the bedroom and just convene. So sitting on the bed.
Yay!
But how about you, Cara? How's your morning going?
Well, we just got out of bed at 9. However, I wish we were sleeping that whole time, but my son has an ability to frequently wake. So
Well,
I was trying to sleep. What was that?
How old is he?
Carlo is 10.5 months old.
Yeah, he's a little itty still.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, girl, don't anticipate getting more than 3 hours sleep straight until at least year 3. Because then you won't be disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right, and if you do, then if you get that sleep, you just take it.
Hell yeah. And run.
Yeah, actually, he just in the past month or so has been able to sleep a couple 6-hour stretches. Hallelujah, 6 hours. However, my body is so used to frequently waking that I wake during the 6-hour period, and my body's like, totally. Oh, I'm rested.
Yeah. Your body's like, oh, 15 minutes straight? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time to rise at 9. I have energy.
I know.
You're like, no, body, I don't have to get up to pee every 2 hours. Please stop waking me.
Yeah.
According to my dad, you never go back to the sleep you had before kids. It just never happens. Yeah, so
that is a bummer.
I just thought I would cheer you the fuck up. All right.
Well, you know, like you, OG, I'm an older parent as well, new parent, and I feel like I spent a good amount of my adult life, you know, really getting those 8 hours. I was pretty committed and dedicated to my 8 hours of like steady sleep. So I figure maybe I stocked up a little there.
That's a good hope. That's a good hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely did tons of partying and tons of sleeping. You know, that I was selfish, and that's why we waited so long. Well, we were selfish, I should say. So yeah, just I keep reminding myself, you had it, Erin, you had it.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Like, I'm so glad that because I had my son when I was 35, and I'm just glad that I had that time. I actually couldn't even imagine having a child as a 20-year-old or even early 30. Like, I don't know how some of these mamas do it. Like, just I don't know, but I'm glad that I waited. I mean, it wasn't by choice. It was really just the way things happened. But I'm definitely glad over time that I waited. So, but all right. OG must be taking care of some emergency, which frequently happens on the show if a child gets into trouble and we need to go away. Feel free, Cara, if your son needs you, most definitely. But I'm really super excited about having you on the show today because I feel like what we're going to talk about is just like so. Here you are.
Hi.
I feel like just what we're going to talk about is so important, and I honestly didn't know. I mean, I am the mom of just one, and I really didn't know about the fourth trimester, the postpartum period. I just had this vision that everything was going to be so amazing, and even though I knew I might have breastfeeding struggles, I had no idea the struggles I was going to go through. But I think one of the things I've been thinking about, knowing that you were going to be on the show and what we were going to talk about, is just that I don't know if moms really understand what they need, postpartum. So, I don't know if we just want to get right into this and just start chatting about some of the things that we want to talk about, the business that you have, Cara, and the things that you do. If we want to just get right in.
Okay. Well, I know what's been my experience, and when I talk with other new mothers, it definitely seems to be our collective experience, is that culturally there's so much focus on pregnancy and having a healthy pregnancy and how you want to labor and lots of choices and modalities and ways of doing it. And yet the postpartum period seems to be this black hole. I know when I was pregnant, it was this mystery. I had no clue. What's my son going to look like? What's life going to be like? I didn't know. It was just like I was going to go through that wormhole and come out on the other side. And, kind of the same expectation of like, oh, yeah, you're just going to flow and find yourself right back where you were or not. So... So it seems like what's coming back into our conscious awareness is the importance of specifically the fourth trimester and the first 40 days in both the newborns and mama's lives.
When I grew up in Mexico, and I remember one of my girlfriends, there were several friends that did get pregnant quite early on, like right out of high school kind of situations. But I remember this one friend of mine in particular kept talking about the cuarentena, the 40 days afterwards, and how her family had all of these different traditions. They would bind her, and she had like a very specific diet, and she couldn't lift anything heavier than the baby, and all of this stuff. And so she followed this very strict regimen, and out of all of my girlfriends, she's the one that was like, bam, size 3 again, like right afterwards. And I was like,
yeah,
I want that.
Right.
Never size 3, but maybe, you don't know.
I remember thinking when my midwife,
I could never find anybody who could help me figure out what that was. Nobody knew. So I think this is fabulous that you're putting it out there for moms.
Yeah. I think that, the getting back your baby body, I mean, I don't even know what that means, honestly, but because I think it's a crock of shit. But, I remember when my midwives were sitting on the end of my bed telling me, don't rush out of the house. I mean, there are cultures that stay in the house and don't do anything for 28 days. And I was just like, that sounds awesome. And I like took it to heart. I really didn't go out of the house for like 3 months, honestly.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for since we've been human, this has been our cultural practice. And of course I say that with a grain of salt, not all humans, and there are women around the world where baby comes out, baby goes on the back, and you tend to the fields or you tend to life. But for the most part, in the community, village, tribal setting, quarantena or first 40, I'm not even sure what it's called in the multitude of tongues, but it's a rite of passage that's rigorously practiced. And what we forget, or what we're kind of lied to about as I think Westerners, and especially American women, is that childbirth and labor, although you can have an ecstatic birth and it can be easy and you can be back to, normal, it is very traumatic on your body. It takes a lot out of the body, out of our human bodies, our female bodies, and it is important to give ourselves the time to recuperate, to rest especially. I know that that's something that I direly needed, was a lot of rest. And then for our newborns is how can we replicate that environment that they had spent the first 10 months in? This very, and it's not just quiet, right? Because it's actually quite loud in the womb, that shh, shh, that ocean sound. How can we give them that gentle, comforting, stable environment, and allow ourselves to be tended to, self-care. That for me is what came up as really a clear piece around childbirth and labor that I'm still working on, right? So the asking for help and really the putting my self-care first, mama's self-care first.
Well, and if we as moms are less stressed, if we're happier, even I mean, the more that I learn about pregnancy and birth and our babies, they are actually very in tune with us, and they're very smart, and they can sense our stresses. So, if we are stressed out right after this birth and we have to go back to it and start, that ultimately affects them, I would believe.
Yeah, they're very sensitive to mama specifically, and will pick up on mama. And
I think it was funny because for some reason my husband and I were under the warped and completely misguided impression that once we got home from the hospital with our baby, things would calm down. How, who, where that came from, I have no idea, because we're still waiting for shit to calm down.
Yeah, and also the concept of like I thought, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom. I'll be able to make everybody breakfast and everybody lunch, and I'll have oh my gosh, my to-do list. I'm going to get all this stuff done, and it's just gotten like longer and longer and longer. And I think that that's the self-care part of it too, is being easy on yourself. And you're so right, Cara, because self-care, it's a constant battle and trying to balance. I'm the mom of a 4-year-old, and I'm still having problems with it. So tell us then maybe what. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's what I was going to do. I was going to say you sent us some points that you wanted to make sure that we hit. So let's hit them.
All right. Well, we're just talking about the importance of the first 40 and bringing it back to our collective awareness of this postpartum period. And I did want to share that as Westerners, the way we live, we're not even set up to really help each other, right? The way we live in these apartments or these houses, and rarely are we connected to our neighbors in a way that we feel confident in saying, hey, I'm having a baby, I'd love your support. So some of the issues that we can see in postpartum, right? So things like depression, coming home with your baby, with your partner, where you all have this elated feeling, and then partner goes off to work, and you're at home alone with baby, it can feel extremely isolating.
Yeah.
So how do we address this? How do we, within the way we're living now, you know, kind of recreate, whether it's that global village or the sense of community, how do we build that around ourselves? And with the First 40, that's definitely one of my intentions. And the way I've been going about doing it is I've been enrolling the help of my tribe and my community so that when a mama you know, gives birth and comes home, whether or not she has an extensive network, I can plug her into ours, mine, and send volunteers who want to go and bring an already prepared meal to the mama, want to provide support. I felt certainly blessed with the community that I have. You know, one friend had spent years with the Leche League, so she was able to come over and just watch me and give me feedback. I found that my biggest insecurity as a new mother was my breast milk. Was I producing enough? You know, did my milk come in? And so it felt really comforting to have one of my community members there, just like, oh yeah, you're doing great, looks awesome. And another dear friend who's an uncle to our son is a chiropractor. And so he will make house visits and come here and do craniosacral on our son, you know, take care of me. So I really wanted to provide this service for other women and to spread the awareness that it's essential that we take care of ourselves. And really, we can't take care of anybody else if we're not first taking care of ourselves.
Totally, yes. And that's one of the things, too, I want to point out. If you're watching us live, you'll see there on the right, I think just on Google, if you're watching us on YouTube, it may make you go to Google in order to see this, but you can see, it's called a little showcase on the right side, and Cara's website, first40.com, is on there, and you can go right to it and check it out. And then, of course, we have it here on a couple of our lower thirds. So the website's awesome. It's really beautiful too, and just the way that you kind of outline what it is that you can get from you know your website and your services. And I love how, you know, because that's what we're doing too, is just when we saw you actually at the Mamas, Midwives, and More, you know, we saw the Mama Tribe Circle, which we'll talk about, but we're like, we're Mama Tribe too, and you know, that's what we're trying to do, is we know that a tribe has helped us. And whether it's your family, which is awesome, if you have supportive family, that's so great. If you have family and friends, awesome. If you need to make your own tribe, make your own tribe, but you need a tribe.
Yes.
Yep. So, you know, check out Cara's website, everybody, because I mean, it's just awesome. It's almost like, too, I don't think people realize what they actually need, and you kind of lay it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was me dreaming up the First 40, and really I would love to dream up every woman's First 40 with her. What would that most, oh gosh, it's so...
Well, you know, I think it's really cool, Cara, because for me, one of the big deals was when my husband went back to work and I was suddenly left alone with this child. It's like I did not know how to fill the day. I did not know what I was supposed to do other than keep the baby alive. So after several, I don't know, weeks, I guess, of floundering, I was like, okay, he needs to be changed every 2 hours. This is how bad it was for me, is that he needs to be changed every 2 hours. He needs to be fed every 2 to 3 hours. So I would watch the clock and be like, okay, it's 2 hours past, I'm going to check his diaper. And even if there was nothing there, it gave me a sense of structure that I desperately needed. And so if somebody had just told me that I could do that and find some kind of anchor in the tsunami that was breastfeeding and hormones and baby, and oh my God, it would have saved me so much anxiety. So I really, I love the fact that you help moms kind of come up with this optimal recovery, this optimal, and I think recovery is such a big and appropriate word because you're trying to recover yourself and a semblance of normalcy that is like, it's like sand going, I mean, it's like impossible to hold on to.
Yeah, and actually discovery too, because you're actually, for me it was, you know, all these things I thought I was going to do, and I'm so thankful for my midwife saying, this is what your to-do list should be. Changing diapers, feeding your baby, feeding yourself, you know, like it was really minimal, and I'm just so thankful that somebody said that to me, because I would have thought, you know, I definitely wasn't worried about getting a before baby body back, but you know, some women are, and some women just aren't really focused on what the true needs for yourself and for your baby are, and put those first.
I cooked a Thanksgiving dinner for 7 people.
Wow.
Like, not even a month after my kid was born, because I was trying to get back to normal. It's insane.
Yeah.
The leftovers were good, but it was just not worth it.
And all women are different, right? So we're all going to respond differently to birth, the postpartum period, and everyone's experience is perfect. Whatever we choose is perfect for us, and to trust that we know what's right for us. So for me, you know, what I wanted to do is I wanted the balance of like, okay, I'm a Western woman and I want to be able to luxuriate in just being home with baby. And I like to think that I'm like a village woman too, so I want to put baby on my back and I'm going to still nanny 3 other kids. And that was just what I personally chose. And that worked for me for a bit, and then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm exhausted and I'm going to just not do anything. So, you know, it's, yeah, I really want to be an advocate for women, right? For us to remember that we know ourselves, we know our body, we know what we need, and we can make empowering choices for ourselves from there.
That intuition is like huge too, because we really do. We really do know what we need, and just trusting it, you know. And as far as like breastfeeding, that is one of the most powerful things that I have ever, you know, gotten advice on, is just, you know, that trust yourself, and for me it involved getting donor milk from mamas, and it involved, you know, breastfeeding and supplementing via an SNS, and so my breastfeeding relationship didn't look exactly like, you know, I can't even say normal, because there's really not a normal these days. There's so many different looks of breastfeeding, but for me, it was trusting that, you know, maybe my baby does need a little bit more supplementation. Maybe I can do less. You know, there's certain things, but that just trust of like you get an instinct and just following it. So. Well, let's move on. If you're, I don't want to shortchange the first 40 at all, and
well, from breastfeeding, I'll just share that because that was my biggest insecurity, and when I'm feeling insecure, and especially when I'm tired, right? So I don't have a lot of sleep going on, so I can fall more into kind of fearful thoughts like, oh, I'm not producing enough milk, he's not getting enough food, he's not getting chubby enough, he's not pooping enough, and so I can notice kind of the spinning. And fortunately, you know, I have a partner who can reflect back like, Cara, a lot of this is just fearful thinking, and you can trust. But then I would also go to the web, and, you know, be searching on the web. And so one of my midwives, I birthed through Tree of Life Birth Center here in Encinitas, although I did transfer to the hospital from there because my son was stuck at Station 2, or I was stuck at Station 2 for about 5 hours. But it was still beautiful and perfect as it was going to be. So her recommendation is like, don't go to the web. There's just too much information on the internet. Don't go there. You know, keep it simple, stick with your partner or your parents, your pediatrician, midwives, whoever is in your closest circle, maybe one baby book that is the most highly regarded by you, you know, really keep it close to home. So I feel really blessed with our relationship with my son's midwives and our midwives. And we, after his birth, Tree of Life, we've had a lovely partnership. Tree of Life is just right here in near downtown Encinitas. And I think in talking about, you know, building a tribe, again, the internet's great. However, real-time connection is really where we are getting that palpable, physical connection that all human beings need. Of course, our babies need it, but all human beings need this. So the Tree of Life has been a hub for us to go to every week, and I've been helping to hold for the center and then the community at large, the Mama, we call it the Mama Tribe Circle. There's my son. We call it the Mama Tribe Circle. So it's for pregnant women and postpartum mamas up to a year old with babies up to a year old. Mama Tribe Circle.
Yep.
And so we meet every Monday morning there at the Tree of Life from 10 to 12, and we'll just, you know, be a support circle, ask each other questions, show each other songs that we share with our babies. We've had special guests. We've had a woman share with us the art of baby massage. We had Alison Ellsbury, who I know you had on Mama Tribe Network, talk about raising a spiritually gifted child. And then we have Mishi and Amber and Jolly with Kanga Groove. They're coming on Monday, August 24th, so this coming Monday, to share some baby wearing line dance. So to get some exercise when we're wearing the babies, some awesome dancing. So that'll be at Tree of Life. And then the Tree of Life is, celebrating their first birthday party this Saturday. So this Saturday from 10 to 2, we're going to have a birthday party there at the birth center. It's a great way to familiarize yourself with birth center, with the midwives, even this way of giving birth if it's new for mamas. And then
so this is a new facility then, if they're just having their first anniversary.
Correct. Yep, it is. Yeah. And with my son, you know, I spent most of my pregnancy actually just going down to the local clinic, and I was just trusting, like, okay, you know, the perfect midwife for us, the perfect scenario is going to unfold, and it's just not here yet. And I think, you know, we'd gone to the Babies in Bloom opening in Vista, and then right around end of July, and you know, we were due in end of September. So end of July, Tree of Life was opening, and it was like, oh, this is awesome. They're just down around the corner from us. And like I said, it's been a very fruitful, loving partnership. So we're excited to celebrate the first year of
the Mama Tribe Circle, is that a free support group, or is this something that is...
It's free for the mamas that move through the Tree of Life Birth Center, and then for the community at large, we ask for a $15 donation.
Okay. And then is it like a certain time frame and the same time frame, like every... You said it was coming up this Monday, you said?
Yeah, every Monday 10 to 12.
Every Monday, 10 to 12. Okay, cool. Cool.
So all mamas, pregnant mamas, and then postpartum mamas with babies up to 1 year old are welcome to join us.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so everybody's breastfeeding and, you know, being able to kind of talk about anything that they kind of want to talk about, and then you have guests as well, too, that that are coming in. Is that kind of how it goes? Because I know that I went to a lot of breastfeeding support groups, and then I really found my tribe through baby wearing meetings. I just kept going to baby wearing meetings and meeting mamas that way.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's a similar idea. We just gather and let the babies be babies and us be mamas. And you know, the agreement with Susan, the main midwife there at Tree of Life, is just we're trusting the process and we're allowing it to organically unfold. I, as a new mother, I only have so much energy, you know, and so in some cases, best I can do is show up. I can show up. You know, I don't necessarily have energy right now to be going out there and like trying to force women to come and make a bigger circle, and a lot of it's service. I'm doing it for the birth center. I believe in you know, alternative modes of labor and childbirth, and birth centers are one of those. So to be able to give back in this way has been, for me, that's just kind of part of the way I like to move through the world. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
It's kind of hard not to give back when you know and you're surrounded by like a tribe that has just helped you so much. I mean, that's the thing that I've found, and I know like for you, OG, it's like when you find people that have helped you, and you know, this goes for the whole spectrum, like you're talking about, you know, chiropractors, cranial sacral therapists, you know, everything that a mama would need, a lactation consultant, you know, just you just want to share, and so it kind of, yeah.
Because we're so, like you were saying earlier, you know, we're so isolated these days, and we don't have those tribal elders that know what kind of solve you need to make to help this. And, you know, it's like we're so entrenched in this idea that everything can be bought over the counter and everything can be picked up at the grocery store, and that's not necessarily the case. And there are other options, but how do you know them? How do you know what questions to ask? So you know, the support system that we've found and that we've made, I just want to like spread the love.
I feel as a human being, as a woman, as a mother, you know, this piece around care, around caring for myself. So I went through many years of like, I don't need community, I don't need people, and you know, I can easily isolate myself in my bedroom with the TV or media or books. And yet I would have experiences where, and for me, dance has been my my entry point back into being around people is through dance in my body. So I would go to dance and, you know, dance with people and hug people, and there'd be a feeling that I don't even know if I could really aptly describe right now, but just a sensation of well-being, of wholeness, of just feeling so good and alive that I really can't create for myself when I'm alone. And even, you know, there's a lot of feedback between me and my son, and so much love. And still, I need to receive from other adults. I need to receive touch, hug, words of encouragement. I need that, you know? So for me, it took a lot of years of reprogramming my brain to like really get myself to show up, like to get out of the house and to show up. And there are opportunities. I think that's what I'm most passionate about, is really sharing with others that there are so many opportunities to connect with human beings in real live time, in your neighborhood, in your towns. You know, maybe you have to drive a little, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, but do it for yourself, because that is what, just like our babies need connection. It has been proven that babies die without connection, right? Or that they become like not okay. And so we're the same. So that's like the #1 piece of self-care. Like show up in your world, show up in your community, give yourself what you need.
And I think that's important too, that you're pointing out that it was hard for you, because it is hard, even if you're a social person, I think, to you know, just to put yourself, I mean, like, I find myself to be a very social person, but when I get in those social situations, I kind of like wait for people to come to me, and I'm not very outgoing, and that's so weird to even think that of myself. So while it wasn't necessarily hard for me to get out, it was hard for me to kind of connect with people, and most of my really close best mama friends are people that came to me, and I'm so thankful that they did, because like I'm such a weirdo that I didn't, you know, like put myself out there, but I think that's really important because one of the things that I have always thought about in my life too is that things that are hard to me, they get easier once I do them. So just do it once and then it'll get easier. You'll do it again and it'll get easier, and that's just the way that it's worked for me. So.
And knowing yourself too, so knowing the way that you can connect to others through. So like when I was younger, I'm the same way. I'm very reserved. I appear social, but it's because I know that I'm a physical person. So dance, that's my way that I can connect, is through dance. Otherwise, I can be awkward and like I don't know how to rub shoulders very well, you know. But I remember being younger and liking taking photos of people because it was another way that I could kind of enter their world, but I didn't have the communication skills, you know, but I could take photos and feel that I was a part of something. So I think knowing ourselves, knowing the way that we can connect, you know, whether it's through drawing or writing or taking photos, like there's so many ways, cooking, the list goes on, and the opportunities again, and this comes back to the internet and working with it and finding the balance. So, you know, there's a meetup group for everything. Like give yourself what you need, even if it's once a month or, you know, simple small steps, but connection is like it's
and actually that's so true about the meetup groups, because that's how I kind of got started, because when my son was born in 2011, Facebook groups really weren't around just yet, I don't think, but so, and then now it's like you can have a group for anything and everything, but and I'm so thankful for that, because that has also, you know, kind of honed in my tribe into, you know, actually a pretty elaborate circle, but less elaborate than some of these groups can be, thousands and thousands and thousands of women, you know. So, but yeah, definitely
opportunity to kind of like, you know, sift out more of the like-minded people, where and I'm sure there are plenty of other people in those 1,000-person groups, but it's just so hard to see the tree for the forest, you know? Yeah, definitely.
And my amazing partner, whom I love dearly, is my techie and all of the above, who is watching the baby right now, but he just shared with me a note as a reminder question of like, how can we encourage, empower, and remind our men of how they can support us as mothers, how they can support women. And you know, one thing that he's been doing at Tree of Life is a dad's night out group once a month, Tuesday nights, for dads to come, and men need just as much support. They need support from each other more than anything. And then, of course, you know, reminders from us, perhaps, of how they can support us. And again, this goes back to self-care, right, as mamas. So, like, that era of the superwoman has to be over because it's not sustainable. Yeah. So, as women, we are empowering ourselves to ask for help, and our partner is the person we have. I missed it. What did you say?
She said they were all drunk.
You know, they're all drunk. They were all drunk, you know. How else were you going to get through the day when you had to be dressed and vacuum and cook and clean? And, you know, it's like you just, mama's little helper all the way.
Yeah, that would be more fun to be drunk and doing all that stuff, probably.
Oh, you don't want to talk to my partner then. He's also a recovery coach.
Let's just say that, you know, people, we, as human beings, look for coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
And when it was expected of women to look and behave a certain way, if you had difficulty matching that image, you figured out ways to make yourself feel better as you squished into that pigeonhole, you know? I mean, I'm just shooting off the hip, but I'm talking about, you know, if like we think about June Cleaver, or, you know, we always had these ideas of what, you know, the perfect mom was supposed to look like, and that's that superwoman that you're talking about.
Right.
And, you know, she doesn't exist, and you know what? It's better that she doesn't exist, because our kids see that we are flawed, and they see how we figure out coping mechanisms that aren't numbing or denying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is my kids going crazy today. Trying to justify my own insanity right now. Keep smiling and nod your head. Say yes.
Well, what you just said, OG, is it made me think of like our selfie culture, right? So we live in this era where it's actually become societally, culturally acceptable, and I'm not saying it's not acceptable, but to just constantly be taking photos of ourselves and putting them online. And there is some empowerment in that. So I would love us to take that next step and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to empower myself to be a poster mom of the perfect mom. Even though I don't have the 2-car garage, 2-story, even though, you know, I'm not perfect. But I'm going to still stand up, and with my one breast that I breastfeed with, because I'm only a one-breasted breastfeeder, I'm just gonna shine as I am, and we are seeing that more and more, you know, in the media and voluptuousness, and we are coming back around. So I think as women, the more we give ourselves permission to let go of any of the boxes that anyone wants to put on us, and just be like, you know what? I know, because that's right, the intuition, the self-knowing, as much doubt as I certainly live with, and it's a lot of doubt, when it comes down to it, and when I let go of the interferences, and I just really, you know, whether it's meditation or my center, I like baths, but I know who I am at my core. And if I can rest in that and just own that, then I think we all can. I hope we all can. Mm-hmm. And really, that's the world I want to be living in, with all of us juicy mamas and papas, and what can we create? Yeah?
Totally.
I think being allowed to say, you know what, my day is shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kid is having a really, really tough time being a good listener today, and I'm losing it. And I think also giving ourselves the opportunity to say, I'm not the parent I want to be right now, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have to reach out at that point too, because, and that's when I find myself reaching out, because it keeps me accountable almost, you know, like I kind of go through the motions. Okay, I didn't do this right, but you know what? That actually is one of my big things that I'm trying to work on, not being a perfectionist. And I think that's, oh God, motherhood is, I'm so thankful for being a mom because of that, because I grew up such a perfectionist, and I am so thankful to not be that way. I don't want to pass it on to my son. I want to pass on to him that it's okay to make mistakes, but we've got to do the full circle of it. And, you know, when we make mistakes, we make amends, we try to do better, we, you know, make that realization. And, you know, that for me is definitely where I get support, and just, you know, kind of, I almost kind of to reach out for support to kind of normalize that, like, we all are not perfect, and here I am, you know, bearing it and letting you all know that this is, I screwed up today, you know.
And that's what Cara was saying, right? It's like we have to let our freak flag fly, so that everyone knows that every flag has a freak in it. Sometimes we can just hide it better than others. Write that down.
Okay. Well, and also I don't want to take away too from the point that you made about the dad's night out. You know, while these dads are, you know, I guess not every household is where, you know, the dad goes to work, the mom stays home. It could be the other way, but still, you know, they are supporting us, and they need support too. And I think in a sense too, that dads getting together is, for me as a mom, like, I would love that to happen for my husband, just to be able to have him not be on, first of all, as a husband and as a dad, have his own self-care time, and be able to kind of get, you know, to talk. And I know that guys don't, like, want to do this all the time, you know, but just, I think that it would help all of our men in our lives, you know, or our partners, to be able to to have a time for themselves, and then just, being around people that are in your same situation is just, to me, it's so helpful, to just get that, normalcy of the situation that you're in if they're in the same one. So, and this, just, can you say again, Cara, like, this is, when is this this is at the Tree of Life as well?
Yeah, Tree of Life, and they just went back to doing it monthly. Is it the second Tuesday, Bert? First Tuesdays, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Tree of Life Birth Center in Encinitas. It's called Dad's Night Out, and it's BYOB, bring your own baby, if you'd like to bring your own baby, but you could leave them at home too. Yeah.
Awesome. So now, is that like a support group too, or do the people?
Yeah, that's support for men, question and answers, whatever the guys need. The
people that are in the Tree of Life community, it's free for them, and then is it another donation type thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, by donation. So, cool. And again, that's to hold the space, the literal physical space. So we like to gift that back, and I think in what we're talking about, and really what excites me about being a new mother, about the idea of giving birth, is like, wow, I'm contributing to humanity. We are contributing to humanity, and what is this kind of new world that we want to create or recreate together? Yeah. So in talking about our men supporting each other, coming to each other, and we're also seeing, wonderful men's groups have been gathering, at least in the Encinitas area, because men do need that. They need bro time that, is more heartfelt and heart-based, right? To share these scary emotions that unfortunately they've been disconnected from for too long.
And most of our men, I think, grew up in that, don't feel anything, do not show emotion, do not, you need to be a man. That has totally effed up a lot of our men in our society, and thankfully they're breaking that cycle and coming back around to that, because we are teaching our kids that, and how can they teach their kids that if they aren't doing it themselves?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, awesome. Yay. Well, this has been tons of information, and I'm so glad that we had you on, Cara, because this time is like...
I could have been more attentive. I'm sorry. My kid I'm having a tough day. I'm having a meltdown.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I wish I could have been more present.
Oh, no worries, OG. You have to watch the show after.
Yeah. It was perfect. You were perfect. That was one thing I did want to say, this idea of mistakes, as though anything we do could be wrong, when everything we're doing is just, it's like leading up or it's paving the way for whatever's to come, right? So what if we can, like, retrain ourselves, and I'm speaking to myself, because I know I can be way too hard on myself of any little perceived misstep, but of like, oh, it's perfect, because whatever's going to come, it needs that little building block, right? And without it, then, or if it goes the way I think it's going to go, well, I always know that my little brain can, like, what it comes up with is so teeny tiny in comparison to, like, the potential of what is, So you're perfect, OG. And thank you, ladies, so much for having me.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, and I hope that we can expand on this. Maybe it would be really fun to maybe attend one of the Mama Tribe circles as a Google Hangout. I think that would be really neat, so that moms who aren't in the area could check it out and maybe start something like that in their hometown.
Yeah, that is a great idea. I would love that. I know we have another guest speaker too next month. See Alicia Bravo with getting the name of her. Do you know her, MJ?
I do. She when we did our last incarnation, I was the producer for the Boob Group, and she was on the Boob Group a lot, and I'm trying to think of her business.
Intuitive Mothers Circle.
Yes,
Related.
exactly. Intuitive Mothers. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe so that'll be towards the end of September, but yeah.
Oh, there's something to work for. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Cool.
we love to be live on location. So
Yeah, so maybe we can do that for either the Mama Tribe Presents or the After Dark, because Live with Mama Tribe will be taking September off.
Oh, good.
Yes, we've been going pretty much nonstop since February.
That's what I was going to say too, OG. I mean, if anybody's been watching our shows, they know how they go, and we always tell our guests, you know, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You know, we're moms. We got to take care of our kids, so we might be, you know, getting off on, you know, putting our video off and our microphones muted because we got to tend to our children. So, you know, I think that's one of the beautiful things about our show.
Thank you. I try and tell myself that that's part of the organic nature of our show and the reality. This is reality TV, okay?
Yeah. No editing here, baby.
No rose, no champagne, no Petri-filled jacuzzi. We've got kids climbing on furniture and causing chaos. But yeah, so Mama Tribe After Dark, we do our series at night. All Things Crunchy. We just did a What the Fuck is Gluten with Dr. G. That was really fascinating. And then, so yeah, we have some more shows coming up. And if you have anything that you would like to send us, if you have an idea for a show or for a question towards a guest that we have had, or if you would like us to research something, go ahead and shoot us an email there at mamatribenetwork@gmail.com and let us know what you think. And in case you missed any of our shows, like the What the Fuck is Gluten, check out our YouTube channel. And we've got shows on moms and marijuana. We've got shows on You Are What You Eat, or Are You?
Yeah, so, digestion, breastfeeding, the spiritually gifted child, vaccinations.
Dead people, what the hell? You know.
You did an awesome show on vaccinations.
Yes.
So
hit us up, let us know what you think, and join us. And today we were bummed because we were going to have a mama jump in and join us from the Midwest, I think she said she was in, but there was some complications. So we'd love to have you. If you can make a rehearsal before our show, we will have you on. And thanks, mamas, for your patience and for your attention. And I send you love, light, and calm the fuck down vibes.
OG loves the F word. It just makes her happy.
There's just this like expression of sentiment that goes with it that you just cannot achieve with other words.
All right, mamas. Well, hang on because we'll take some photos after we hit the stop broadcast. And thank you again, Cara. It was awesome having you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we are going to sign off and hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you're watching this later, then if you have any comments, please leave us comments. We love to hear your thoughts. And of course, like OG's. What's that?
All three of them. All three thoughts. We want to hear them all.
All of the thoughts. All of the three of the thoughts. And of course, like OG said, seriously, we're going to be selfish about our shows if you don't tell us what you want to hear about. So, all right, guys. Have a good day.
Ciao.